Hey, it's Dan. You know, if you look in the news, there's a ton in there about people are getting 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 offers in 20, 30, 80, 100, $200,000 over their asking price. And here you are with like 3 offers in and you've got your asking price or 10,000 over. So is this a problem? And if you're getting ready to sell your house, should you expect 20 offers and $80,000 over your asking price? I'd say definitely, maybe. See, the thing is, there's a lot of houses on the market right now that are priced too low, where I've let clients know before we go out, hey, heads up, the starting price for this house, before we even go in the front door, is going to be about $70,000 higher than what the seller's listed it at. Now, I don't always know if they've done that on purpose. In other words, priced it artificially low to just create kind of a live auction, or if maybe the market is doing this, but the seller and their agent thought that the market was only doing this or this. It's sometimes difficult to tell. Sometimes I know because I know who the agent is. But other times it's not clear. But here's my point. If you price a house low enough in the market right now, yes, you can virtually guarantee a fat stack of offers and 50, 80, $100,000 over your asking price comes in. The deal though is that's not necessarily awesome. If you have a $700,000 house and we put it on the market for 6 and you get $100,000 over asking, it's a great image for social media for both you and especially your agent. But let's be frank, it's a $700,000 house. If you put it on at 600 and we got it bid up 100 grand, you broke even for where the market's at. And what will happen in some cases is when these houses are priced too low, they get bid up and then they stall because buyers get to a point where how much higher can they go? They feel like how much higher can I go versus what the seller is asking for. Now, if you're looking at say 900 to 1.2 million, yes, you might see people go $200,000. I've seen $300,000 over the asking price. But generally in the 800 and under market, there's understandably a sense that once you get $100,000 over what the seller is asking for, it's hard to keep offering them more money. And people can feel like I'm getting ripped off, I'm getting screwed, I'm in this bubble market, it's about to burst. And it's understandable because at no time in history did you see a house for sale and say, let's give them an extra 75 grand just to be good neighbors. So focus on what the market value of your house is. And when you put it on the market, talk with your agent about what the plan is and what the expectation is, right? Because if you have a $700,000 house, now's the time when you might be able to get away with putting it on for 7.25, maybe 750. And then you might only get one at a kick-ass price. But if you need or want that big fat stack, yes, you can put it on for 650. But understand that first $50,000 over asking that you're getting was just playing catch up, right? And so when you see these things out there, and I don't mean to harsh on social media, because that's probably where you're seeing this video, is understand there's just a lot on the market right now that's hitting the market undervalued and underpriced. So far this year, I've written 2 offers for clients for $100,000 over what the seller was asking. Now in each case, the buyers and I had to have a talk about, look, this finished number is actually legitimate. It's fair and it's reasonable for the house and for the neighborhood. The sellers just came on too low. Now in one case, in Lake Oswego, the offer was accepted and I think everybody was very happy. In another case, in Milwaukee, I represented a buyer where there were 3 offers, all that capped out at exactly $100,000 over the asking price. I actually think the seller could have gotten another 10 to 15,000, maybe 20,000, had they not priced it so low that everyone hit that $100,000 mark and said, we just can't go any further. But the point was, I thought that my client and maybe one of the others would have gone a little higher, but they weren't prepared to go more than $100,000 over the asking price. So in that case, I would argue that underpricing the house by so much actually hurt the seller because the market did not correct it, because they were at a price point where people just weren't going to spend that much extra. And I put extra in air quotes because A, air quotes are awesome, and B, because they weren't really going over that much. Again, the asking price is just the asking price. In other markets, you might say, well, yeah, they're asking 700, but nobody's expecting to get full price right now. And you might think you're automatically entitled to a 3% discount. In the market right now, people are not necessarily getting it priced right. And if that's the case, the response is going to change appropriately. So if you want 15 offers, let your agent know up front that that's your goal, and they can price it appropriately. But if you want the best price, pricing it low may or may not be it. Buyers might fatigue out. In some cases, you might be better off taking that $700,000 house and putting it on for $740,000, $750,000. And I mean, like, if you look at 700 and think, oof, 700 would put me at the tippy top, right? 740, 750 might mean that you sit on the market an extra few days, maybe an extra week or two, and a buyer comes in and says, my God, 750, no way. Would you take 740? And you wind up actually in a champion position because you gave the buyer a deal, because they didn't have to overbid, getting really into this today, you didn't have to overbid 80 grand, or they didn't have to overbid 80 grand. So if you're going into the marketplace, or if you're already there or have just been there, don't assume that there's a problem that you only got a couple offers, right? And if you've got an agent that you're working with and you're not sure that they did a good job because you only got a couple offers, bear in mind, they might have actually priced your home well and gotten you a very good price, but because you started out priced correctly, you didn't get all those offers that you were never going to accept. Because right now when sellers are getting, it's one of those days, right now when sellers are getting $60,000, $80,000, $100,000 over, they're getting a bunch of offers that they would not accept. By which I mean, it's not just that other offers are better, it means that some of the offers are lower than they wanted. I have an offer out for a client right now in Sherwood where we've offered full price. And the seller came back and said, geez, we're really hoping for about 40,000 more. I mean, they're not even hiding it anymore. Gee, we put it on here. And this is a seven-figure price tag. But they still want an extra 40 grand, despite not having anything else on the table at that point. So don't necessarily get caught up in all the fluff, let's call it, that you see on social media about how great it is, because sometimes people are just getting a ton of offers, $80,000 over asking, because the house was just priced low to start with. And it wasn't necessarily any grand performance, let's call it. If you have any questions about market values in your area, reach out to me. We're happy to get you an updated report. It's just, we can get you an idea. This is what it looks like. And if we want, this is where, if you want, as I said, one of those days, if you want, we can also let you know, like, if you really want to go, here's where we price it, right? If you want to try and stack some offers, here's where we price it. It's good to know going in which price you have so you can set your expectations accordingly. Thanks for sticking with it. I know this was a little long because old Stutter Breath had a little bit of a challenge today. Let me know if there's anything we can do, and in the meantime, have a great day.